Okay, so this is going to be my Christmas movie ranking for this Christmas season. Let's get started off. I'm gonna have quite a bit of honorable mentions because I wanted to kind of stick to having 25 movies because it kind of made sense given December 25, Christmas, all that. And I couldn't quite stretch the list to 50, so I kind of just stuck a lot of these on the honorable mentions. Starting off here, I got Last Christmas. I'm not going to explain too much about these things. If you don't know what they are, um, look them up. When I get to the actual list, I'll do a lot more explaining, but I can't explain all of these because that'll just take too long. But yeah, Last Christmas, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Cabin Fever, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, Falling for Christmas, Holiday Rush, the Santa Buddies Trilogy, The Ultimate Christmas Present, Dashing Through the Snow, Single All the Way, Christmas as Usual, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I do not actually think that one's a good movie, but it's a classic, so I put it on here. And then the Princess Switch Trilogy. I think the first one's pretty good. Second and third one, something else. But I start off at number 25. This is going to be Christmas Again. So this, I believe, is a new movie as of 2023. It's pretty good. So basically, this chick right here thinks she's having a bad Christmas. So she kind of wishes makes a wish to Santa to be able to redo Christmas. Then she basically gets stuck in a time loop where she's redoing the same Christmas over and over again, kind of like Groundhog Day. She's just redoing the same day over and over again until she realizes that she actually does like this Christmas. She thinks this Christmas, like she was taking this Christmas for granted, and that's kind of the whole movie. The next up will be number 24. It's going to be Twas the Night. This is also a Disney Channel original movie from like the early 2000s, I believe. It's pretty solid here. Basically, what it is that this guy right, Santa dude right here is kind of their uncle, and he's not exactly a good person. He's gotten into some legal trouble. He's kind of a scammer. Uh, but he kind of gets stuck and shows up here at his brother's house for Christmas, and then he has to get stuck babysitting them because the parents end up having to go to some work thing, and then yeah, so he's there, and then Santa comes into their house like he normally would, and then Santa eventually ends up getting like knocked out, and then they have to kind of be Santa for the rest of the night, and it's pretty fun episode or movie there. Number 23 is I'll Be Home for Christmas, another Disney Channel movie from, I believe, maybe the late 90s here, maybe early 2000s still, I'm not 100% sure. It has Jessica Biel in here, so that's pretty good. Basically, what it is that this guy here named Jake, he, they're going to college in California. He wants to get home for Christmas, which is in like Pennsylvania or something like that. It's pretty far away. Yeah, basically the whole thing is he has his own disastrous road trip style to get back home on time for Christmas. Number 22 is going to be Christmas with You. This is a Netflix movie, I do believe. Basically, this chick right here is a pop star who sees a video of this guy's daughter, basically saying that her Christmas wish is to be able to sing a song with her. And so she ends up granting that wish. She kind of shows up there randomly, in the holiday season and spends time with this family trying to, kind of write a song with this daughter, basically. Then she ends up kind of having a love story with the father. So pretty fun movie uh, there. Number 21 is going to be Holiday. This is a Netflix movie as well. It is a Christmas movie because I believe the original part of it is Christmas and New Year's and stuff. One of those two. So it's kind of a Christmas movie, but it also kind of goes through an entire year of all the holidays. Because the main thing here, these two, this girl and the dude right here, main two people are only with each other for the holidays. Like, I need a holiday boyfriend. Let's, you know, and then it kind of ends up being something more than that. It's a pretty fun movie overall. Not exactly the most Christmas movie because it kind of goes through the entire year. Number 20 is going to be The Naughty Nine. I think this is also a 2023 Christmas movie from Disney Plus. It might be a 2022, but it's fairly new. It's pretty good. There's a group of kids, 9 kids, who are all on the naughty list. And so they basically try to travel up to the North Pole to find Santa and kind of steal the presents that they think they deserve. Pretty fun, um, movie there. Number 19 is going to be The Santa Claus 3. All of the Santa Clauses are very good, as well as a TV show. Um, you should go watch the 2 seasons of the Santa Clauses on Disney Plus. I do not believe there's going to be a third season. There isn't going to be one this year, which the last two seasons came out the last 2 years. So that leads me to believe that there's not going to be a season three at all, which is fine. But the season for the first two seasons are pretty good. I would go watch those if you like the Santa Claus trilogy, but definitely watch the movies first, or you're going to be very confused. But yeah, the third one, basically, Mrs. Claus's parents come up to the North Pole. They think it's Canada because they can't know who Santa is, right? Um, and then Jack Frost is a big character. He tries to kind of take over Christmas. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. It's a very fun movie. Number 20, it's going to be Disney A Christmas Carol. Mostly everybody knows the story of A Christmas Carol. It's a classic story. It's been remade a few times as movies. It's been used quite a bit in Disney Christmas episodes. You're going to see that if you watch my Christmas episode ranking as well. There's kind of a past, present, future involved there at least twice. It's pretty fun. Obviously, if you don't know the story, Ebenezer Scrooge is a Christmas hater. He gets, these ghosts kind of show him his past, present, and Christmas, his Christmas past, present, and future, and then he eventually ends up enjoying Christmas at the end. Number 17 is Daddy's Home. It has an absolutely star-studded cast: Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, Mel Gibson, John Cena, Linda Cardellini. Very great cast. It's a very funny movie. It's about a blended family who tries to all come together to spend the holiday at the same place. They all go on one big holiday vacation. There's a lot of bad stuff, stuff that goes wrong, and some family drama gets involved there. It's very funny, very good movie. Number 16, Good Luck Charlie. It's Christmas, so it is a Disney Channel movie. So because it is a movie, I put it on here, even though I have my own Disney Channel holiday watch list. So if you get mad at that, is because it's simply a movie. It's not a Disney Channel episode. It is a movie, so I believe it belongs on the movie list. But if you don't know what Good Luck Charlie is, you don't necessarily need to watch this movie. But I would recommend at least freshening up on some episodes, or at least kind of reading about that before you watch this, because it might get a little bit confusing. But basically, their whole family is flying out to Amy's parents' house, the mom's parents' house, right? And then Teddy volunteers to take a round trip, a free round trip ticket if she would to take a later flight because they overbooked the plane. I'm not sure if that actually happens. If you actually overbook a plane, like you could sue somebody for that. But she volunteers to do that because she wants to take a spring break trip with her best friend. And they say that she has to pay for her own ticket and able to do that. But yeah, then there's a whole road trip thing, fiasco because Teddy and her mom, get stuck because they can't get on another flight and they have to, find their way to Christmas on time. And then the boys kind of do their own thing, have their own little like IRL video game battle. I don't even know, like shootout type of experience. It's a really fun, really cool movie. Number 15, going to be The Christmas Chronicles 2. So there's two movies here. The second one is definitely worse than the first, but the second one is still very solid as well. Basically, there's an elf that turns bad, poses as a human, and kind of tries to attempt to cancel Christmas forever. And then these two right here, well, this girl right here kind of helps Santa, stop that from happening, right? And that's going to be there. Number 14 is going to be The Grinch, specifically Illumination's Grinch. Obviously, there's the classic from like 1966, which you could go back and watch. That's everybody knows that basic story of the Grinch, but this is a much much better, well done, cinematic length film. I think it's done really, really well. There's also the Grinch live action movie with Jim Carrey. I don't like that one. It's just very kind of disturbing to look at, in my opinion. They do, like the humans in Whoville with their weird shaped noses do not look good in live action. But this is the best movie to watch, in my opinion, if you're trying to watch The Grinch. Number 13 is going to be The Holiday Calendar. So basically, this I believe is a Netflix movie as well. Quite a bit of Netflix movies on here. If that is one thing that Netflix is still used for, it is for watching Christmas movies. That's the only time I've used Netflix, probably all year, is to watch Christmas movies on it. But yeah, this girl right here, gets gifted a Christmas calendar. Nothing weird about that, right? But the thing is, the calendar is kind of like magical. Each door opens by itself on each day. It has a little ornament inside of it that kind of plays into what happens that day. It's a really fun movie, great love story as well. Number 12 is going to be a Christmas Story. This is a classic from like the 80s, I believe, maybe the early 90s. I believe it's the 80s. Could be wrong on that. That's not really important though. Basically, Ralphie attempts to avoid a bully. He ends up being like beat up, whatever. There's some school drama going in there, and then there's like he's dreaming of an ideal Christmas where he gets a gun, but he's gonna shoot his eye out, if he gets a gun. There's like I don't really know how to explain this movie very well. It's kind of just I don't know. I feel like there's not a whole lot that actually happens, but it's a very good, very fun movie still. Number 11 would be A Charlie Brown Christmas. Now this is a Christmas episode, not exactly a movie, but it kind of fits in with the movie. It has the heartwarming. I mean, all the Charlie Brown episodes in general are done pretty well. They're all pretty heartwarming, but I think this one is just extremely awesome. It's very well done. It's very fun. If you don't know what it is, like this movie, this episode specifically, like Charlie is directing a Christmas pageant done by all of his friends. Linus is trying to teach him the true meaning of Christmas. There's kind of some fun, wholesome Christmas moments happening throughout this entire episode. Number 10 is going to be Noel with Anna Kendrick here. It's like a 2020 to 2021 Disney Plus movie here. It's pretty good, in my opinion, obviously ranked as number 10 right here. Basically what it is that Santa's son, which is her brother, is destined to take over because the original Santa or whatever, right, is getting too old. They have to get a new Santa, and the obvious choice for the next Santa would be Santa's son. But Santa's son kind of just like escapes to Phoenix, Arizona because he doesn't really want to be Santa. He doesn't want all that pressure. So then she goes down and try to convince him to be Santa, and he kind of takes her up on that. But then eventually they realize that she is actually better destined or better prepared to be Santa. So that's kind of what it is, this movie. Number 9 is going to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Probably the funniest Christmas movie. Daddy's Home 2 is probably up there as well. But the scene I think about in this movie specifically is when I believe his name's Carl. I don't really know if that's important. I don't know if that's his name either. But he like freaks out when he doesn't get his Christmas bonus. And then like he just starts going off about a whole bunch of stuff, and like I don't know, he goes on an absolute rage fest, and it's really hilarious. I can't really remember exactly what he says, but it's absolutely hilarious. Made me die laughing the first time I saw it, and the rest of this movie is kind of like he invites basically his whole family to come over for Christmas. He has some unexpected guests like his brother or whatever. And there's just a whole bunch of weird, cool family drama and stuff that happens throughout this movie. Number 8 is going to be Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. It has Donald Trump in it, so that's something. Kevin basically gets on a wrong plane, ends up going to New York while his family's in Paris, I believe. So I don't know how you mess that up, but he gets stranded in New York. He does have his dad's credit card, so that's something. And then he kind of like checks himself into a very nice hotel, gets involved with the same bad guys as he does in the first movie, and then kind of sets up a whole trap to get them caught again. It's very fun movie. Number 7 is going to be the Santa Claus 1. Very good movie. Obviously, Tim Allen's in here. He's cool. Basically, what this is that Scott Calvin, which is Tim Allen's character, attempts to I don't know. It's kind of odd. Like Santa is, on their roof on Christmas Eve because of course he is. And then he accidentally like scares him. Santa falls off the roof, and then basically Santa dies. He vanishes, and then this guy puts on the coat. It kind of becomes Santa Claus. So now he has to like convince his ex-wife that he is Santa and that he's not completely crazy, so he can like still have some child custody rights because she thinks he's demented and now he can't see his child. Number 6 is going to be the Christmas Chronicles, a very fun movie from like 2018, I believe, maybe a little bit newer than that. I'm not completely sure, but it's a Netflix movie. It has Kurt Russell in it. That's pretty cool. Basically, what it is that Kate and Teddy, these two right here, are attempting to capture Santa Claus, at least catch him on video. They set up a camera, set up a trap, kind of, to be able to, catch Santa on tape because, who doesn't want to catch Santa on tape? That sounds pretty cool. But then they kind of sneak into his sled or his sleigh or whatever and basically have to, spend Christmas with him, delivering, all their presents and stuff. They get thrown in jail, or at least Santa gets thrown in jail at one point. A whole bunch of different stuff going on. It's a very fun movie. Number 5 is going to be Elf. Everybody knows what Elf is for the most part. It has Will Ferrell. It's a classic story, classic movie. Buddy is a human that lives at the North Pole because whatever, he was like abandoned as a child, so an elf ended up basically taking him under his wing. But he wants to go to New York to find his real dad. Learns a lot about family growth, and he has a love interest with this lady right here. He has a very lack of common social knowledge because, again, he grew up as an elf. He doesn't know how the world works, how people work. So he kind of just learning how to be a human and is growing a lot of family relationships with his brother. Pretty much. Number 4 will be the Santa Claus 2, the best Santa Claus movie in my opinion. Basically, what this is that Calvin, Scott Calvin's son, Santa's son, is on the naughty list. So he kind of goes down to earth, try to talk to his son and try to get him off of the naughty list. But then also there's a clause in the Santa, the Santa clause is that he has to have a wife by the end of 1 year, or he cannot be Santa anymore. So now this is the first Christmas or whatever that he has had since he was Santa, even though his son aged a few years, but that's not important. So he has to find a wife before Christmas. And he eventually does. He finds the son's principal to be his new wife and stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty fun movie of him trying to go down to earth, convince his son, try to get his son off the naughty list, and try to get a wife. It's going to be Home Alone 1. Very good movie. Everybody should know what Home Alone is. If you do not, you really need to go watch it. Basically what it is, Kevin gets left home alone while the rest of his family is going on vacation up to wherever they're going. He has to protect the house from these two bad guys because he notices very early in the movie that they are going to come rob the place. So he kind of sets up a whole bunch of traps and stuff to stop them, and it's a very fun, very good movie. Number 2 is going to be Let Snow. This is a Christmas movie from Netflix, I believe, from 2021, I think is what I want to say when it's from. Not 100% sure on that. Could be a little later than that or newer than, older than that. I'm not completely sure. But it is a very, very good movie. I absolutely adore this movie. Something really good about this that I really like is that it is a hyperlink cinema movie, which if you don't know what that is basically where it tells 4 or 5 different stories. Where you have 4 or 5 different main characters with their own stories and their own subplots, and they don't really intertwine with each other. The characters don't really know each other, but they all kind of come together. All their stories come together to kind of create one big story at the end of the movie. And that's exactly what happens. It's all these people in one town here. A whole bunch of different Christmas stuff going on with each person individually. They all come together for a Christmas party at the end of the movie. Very great movie. You should definitely go watch this. I loved it. It's amazing. That's all I gotta say. Number 1 is going to be Polar Express. Most of you have seen Polar Express. Some of you would probably say this is a little bit too high for your liking, but I can't really. I cannot find anything bad about this movie. Every time I watch it, it's so heartwarming, so much nostalgia for this movie, and I absolutely adore every second of it. The animation, of course, is amazing. Basically, what it is, it's there's a train that takes kids to the North Pole on Christmas Eve, try to teach them about the true spirit of Christmas. And that's exactly what happens here. You can't really see it very well in this picture, but the little guy here in the blue, he's our main character that we kind of follow. At first, he's kind of a skeptical believer. He's not necessarily a true believer because he cannot hear the ringing of the sleigh bells, right? Or the jingle, whatever you want to call it. I think they're the sleigh bells. He cannot hear it ring when he shakes it, which means he's not a true believer. But by the end of the movie, he is a true believer because he can hear the dinging of the bell. So that's kind of the ultimate tell-all that he is now a true believer. We kind of get to go through this whole journey of him becoming a true believer and everything else that happens to the North Pole with the Polar Express. It's just a very fun movie, very good movie overall. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I know I don't really do a very good job of explaining the movies very well, but I kind of just want to talk about them, give you guys a little bit of a background on them and why I like them, and then basically just give you a list of movies to watch and why you should watch them. That's kind of what I did here. That's going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week next week or this, I don't know. I have a Disney Channel Christmas episode coming at some point. I don't know if it's going to come out next week or a week before this, but that's going to be it, and thank you.